Take a look at this set of characters. Are any of them familiar to you? What could they all have in common? Well, they're queer, or queer-coded. Come join me in exploring the presence of LGBTQ+ characters in children's TV shows throughout the 20th century. In many ways, there have been so many characters in our favorite animated childhood shows, and we didn't even know it. Let's take a look at a brief history of queer characters in animated children's shows. Perhaps the earliest recording of a queer character in these shows is from the 1933 animated Flip the Frog short called Soda Squirt. This flamboyant character turned Hyde-like monster was seen as queer. Bugs Bunny, on the other hand, was often seen cross-dressing, which didn't necessarily make him queer, but audiences interpreted it to be otherwise, specifically labeling him as a drag queen. Throughout the 20th century, there have been several examples of this. Characters like Velma, Skeleton, Sailor Neptune and Uranus, and him are just some of the few examples. A lot of characters from earlier shows are not explicitly queer, rather are queer-coded, which essentially means that there is enough subtext for the audience to deem these characters as queer. However, according to Insider's database on LGBTQ+ characters in children's animated shows, the first 10 shows in the 20th century that were confirmed include some popular shows such as Arthur, Dexter's Laboratory, Hey Arnold, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Their database also counts that in the 90s and 2000s there were only 18 shows that featured a queer character. So why is noting the presence of queer characters in children's animated shows so important? The 20th century was when we first began to see queer representation in these shows, and not just for comical purposes, but to genuinely reflect the real people inspired by or behind them. For children, these animated shows are one of their sources for evolving ideas and cultural norms. These shows have the ability to teach them about the LGBTQ+ community. In fact, neurologist Sigmund Freud mentions in some of his essays that children are not bound by the natural law and are capable of deviating from the social norm. Including queer representation in kids' cartoons grants them diverse role models, educates them of the LGBTQ+ spectrum, and allows them to reflect on their identity exploration. Children are naturally curious about the world around them. One could view queer characters as simply another tool children can use to learn about the vast culture the world has to offer. Throughout the years, animators and showrunners have found various ways to insert queerness into children's television to push for queer representation for younger audiences. Queer representation for children, in particular, is one way in which they can develop a better cultural understanding of the LGBTQ+ community and challenge their pre-existing or evolving ideas on gender and sexuality. This may be a lot to take in, but tune in for more videos like this to continue learning about the LGBTQ+ community. That's all for today's video. You can go ahead and watch part 2 of exploring LGBTQ+ inclusivity in kids' cartoons to learn about queer representation for children in the 21st century. See you in the next one.